Thou shalt be subject to the Lord and to masters as the image of God, with modesty and fear. That's exactly what we teach and believe with respect to the way we accept Jesus as God, just like Thomas did. Right after Jesus told them who our God and Father is, right? It's the same God and Father he has. But when we're dealing with Jesus, we're not dealing with anybody other than God. He's not doing his own will. He's not teaching his own teachings. He's not doing his own works. It's the Father. That couldn't be made more clear, probably more times than most other teachings in the Bible. Right here, it's basically saying the same thing. Be subject to the Lord as the image of God. Right? Is that idolatry right there? Well, it's not bad idolatry, right? This is the idol you get, right? Just like the serpent in the wilderness. This is the Messiah. This is the Son of God. This is the one that represents what God says is okay. If you acknowledge this one, because this one isn't doing anything but what I tell him to do. It's basically me. That's my image right there. You know, the imprint. Although that's character, right? This icon, you can still image, character. One represents the other. One is the image of the other. One was made after the image of the other. So when we recognize Jesus as God, just like Moses did when he recognized angels in the burning bush as God, right? Whether he knew it or not. We know according to Acts 7, they were angels, right? And we have multiple other accounts where this happens. Trinitarians just don't recognize the context of the Bible. And others, right? It's not just Trinitarians. People who fail to actually interpret the Bible with the Bible and with contemporaneous sources that are accurate as well. Instead, they go hundreds of years later, way outside the context, right? Everything's totally different. And they come up with all new terms and ideas to try to make sense of what is already sensibly explained in the Bible. By the Messiah himself, I would add, in John chapter 10, verses 30 through 36. To me, I don't know how you could get any clearer in terms of him explaining to you what is meant when the term theos is used of him. Either way, this is how it works, right? We subject ourselves to Jesus, just like the Israelites subjected themselves to the serpent on the pole that represented Jesus, because the serpent on the pole that represented Jesus represents the Son of God, who represents God. No one else, not even himself. That's why it's to the glory of God the Father. That's why people who have a problem with worshiping Jesus, the problem is they're not understanding the association between the two. Trinitarians, of course, we know they have a whole different metaphysic. Others who have a discomfort with it, they think if you say worship Jesus, they think you mean, sometimes some people think you mean something other than glorifying the Father. Okay, by worshiping Jesus, I mean glorifying the Father. Okay, by acknowledging Jesus as God, I mean he represents the Father to me. That's it. My Father, your Father. My God, your God. Everyone acknowledges Jesus. All knees bow, heaven and on earth and underneath the earth, to the glory of God the Father, the one who put him in that position. The one on whose throne he's sitting, right? Yeah, that's a big difference. And it's totally permissible. Why? He's representing the one God. He's basically showing the ultimate submission and worship. Because having all authority and power, he chooses not to do his own will. You try refusing to do your own will having all authority and power, right? We probably won't have that opportunity. Just think about that for a moment in our sinful state, right? And not everyone's going to handle that the right way. He did. He handled it with no authority and power, and he handles it well with all authority and power, and that's why he has it. That's why the people that die faithful to him and after his pattern get it too. Revelation 2 through 3. All of this is consistent